bench dip is a great upper body exercise for runners because it works our shoulders and our triceps all together at the same time, which is exactly what we do when we're doing our arm swing as we run. When we run, we really use our arms to power our legs, especially if we're running uphill or if we're running a faster pace. And so by working on the bench dip, we're able to improve strength in our shoulders and our triceps, and that's gonna help power up your arm drive, which in turn is gonna make you a little bit faster and more efficient runner. Let's take a look at how to do it. To set up for the bench dip, all you need is a solid object, whether that's a bench, a box, even in the edge of a set of stairs will totally work. You need a solid object that you can get your arms set up on, and then some empty space out in front of you to give your legs a little bit of room. I like to, as much as possible when I'm doing dips, have whatever it is pushed up against a wall or a set of plates or something like that. If you're not using a very solid object, you don't want it to scoot out from behind you when you get down into the bottom of your dip. So just make sure that whatever it is that you're using isn't gonna move around on you while you're using it. To do the dip, you're gonna slide yourself all the way up to the edge, and then you're gonna put your arms about hip width apart. So you wanna make sure that you're not super wide or too narrow. So I find hip width is generally quite a comfortable way to go. So from here, I've got my hands right up to the very edge. And then from here, I'm gonna walk my feet forwards. I can kind of get myself set up. If you need to adjust, you can kind of put one foot down here. Get yourself set up in place. You can get nice and comfortable here. And then what you're going for is a nice straight line through the body. And then from here, I'm gonna bend my elbows and keep them in line with my body. So I don't want them coming to the outside. I want them going straight back behind me. I'm going down to 90, and then I'm gonna come all the way back up again. Down to 90 degrees at the elbow, and then back up again. When you're finished, you can bring one foot back, and then slide your butt back onto the bench to finish. To adjust the difficulty on this one, you can bend your knees to make it easier, or you can straighten your knees to make it more difficult. When I'm here in this position, if I have my knees bent, even like as much as 90 degrees will make it nice and easy. Because you do it this way, your legs are holding a little bit more of your weight. So there's less weight on your shoulders and on your elbows. So when you come down here and your triceps are working, it's gonna be a little bit easier. If you walk out to maybe a 45-degree bend in the knees, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. And then the most difficult one is gonna be with your legs straight out in front of you. If you find that this bugs either your wrists or your shoulders, you can work on adjusting the angle that you have your arms positioned in, and that will help a little bit sometimes. So instead of having your arms, I guess with your palms facing straight back behind you, doing your dip in this position, so you're going down and coming back up. If you find it bugs your wrists a little bit, you can actually grab onto the sides of the bench. So you're gonna rotate over to here and here. Same thing, you can have those elbows go straight back behind you and back up again. If you find that bugs your wrists, you can just play around with that angle to try and figure out what's the most comfortable for you. Same goes for shoulders as well. Ideally, you want those elbows, like I said, going straight back behind you. However, if you find it bugs your shoulder, you can adjust, maybe come a little bit out to the side more, see if that's a little bit more comfortable. In a perfect world, you want to work towards getting everything in a nice straight line with those elbows coming right back behind you. However, if you can only get part way, that's totally fine. Just kind of make it a goal for yourself to move towards being able to get all the way into the full position for the dip. As an alternative to the bench dip, you can also use, a lot of gyms will have something like a specific dip machine, or you can even use a dip station where you're using your whole entire body weight. The dip station where you're actually hanging off of your body weight, that's gonna be the most difficult version of this. Or if you use a dip machine, the thing that's nice for using a machine in a gym is that you can select the weight a little bit more accurately. You can go up by 5 pounds, you can go down by 5 pounds, unlike here where it's just a slight adjustment of the angle of your feet. However, the one downside of using a machine is the fact that there's just a little bit less stability required because the machine guides you through that range of motion. So we're working a little bit more on stability with a bench dip versus a dip machine is going to work a little bit more on being able to fine tune the weight that you're able to push.